I've always believed that getting married young was important, at least if you wanted to fully enjoy those special moments with your partner, away from the watchful eyes of others. Only after gaining wisdom and maturity could you truly take on the responsibilities of marriage. But now, I see it differently. Marrying young isn't just about cherishing those moments. It's about having the time to learn from mistakes and find that one person who won't betray or deceive you. We tied the knot while still in college, building our life together, sharing love, and enjoying our freedom. Having kids wasn't a priority at first, but as the years passed, we started feeling the weight of time. After all, raising a child at 30 is far easier than starting at 40. At first, we weren't too worried. I didn't dwell on it much, but I could see Lela growing anxious. So, like most people today, I turned to the internet. The advice seemed simple and worth trying. I quit smoking, we ate healthier, exercised more, and even bought vitamins that the doctor had supposedly recommended for Lela. But 6 months passed, and still nothing. How about we see a doctor together? I finally suggested. I wasn't naive. I knew the issue could lie with either of us. Better to get checked than waste time guessing. Lela agreed immediately. The doctor ordered a series of tests, casually mentioning that many couples found that letting go of stress and simply enjoying life often did the trick. Maybe take a trip to the sea, he suggested. It helps sometimes. Lela's face fell when she saw the long list of tests. It was as if she believed our chances were slipping away. I gave her hand a reassuring squeeze, and we left the office together. Listen, I said as we got in the car. Let's take a trip. We'll go to the sea. Clear our heads before diving into all these tests. She agreed, though her excitement was subdued. So, we flew to Greece. It had been her dream to visit, and for a while, we had an amazing time. But once we returned, I became absorbed in work and pushed thoughts of doctors and tests to the back of my mind. Deep down, I probably hoped that pregnancy would just happen on its own, but it didn't. As much as I tried to ignore it, I knew we had to face reality. Lela, I said about a month and a half after our vacation, maybe it's time to go ahead and take those tests. No need, she replied with a glowing smile. We're doing everything right. I was skeptical at first, until she showed me the ultrasound results. The tight knot of worry in my chest finally unraveled. The pregnancy was smooth, just like my own birth, which, by the way, I intentionally skipped being present for. Some things are better left unseen by men. From the moment I held our daughter, I was in love. That first breath, that first moment, she had me completely. 2 joyful years of parenting flew by in what felt like an instant. Yet, something inside me wasn't satisfied. My fatherly instincts told me I wasn't done just yet. And, honestly, who doesn't dream of having a son? Do you want more kids? I asked Lela one day. It would be nice, she admitted, but I think Ellie is enough for us. Her answer was expected, but I wasn't ready to let it go. I kept bringing it up, gently at first, but then more persistently. Lela grew frustrated, but eventually she gave in, reminding me that we had faced obstacles before, yet here we were, with a little one running around our home. So, we tried again. A year passed. Then another. Nothing. We did everything the same, healthy eating, exercise, vitamins, but this time there was no result. Lela, ever the rational one, suggested we visit the doctor again. I agreed, though part of me still clung to the hope of another natural miracle. The tests this time were more extensive, and when the results came in, they confirmed my worst fear. Our chances of conceiving again were slim. Lela took the news much better than I did. We have Ellie, she reminded me, her voice calm and certain. She's more than enough. But I struggled. I had always imagined a bigger family, a sibling for our daughter. We considered other options, treatments, even adoption. But deep down, I knew that forcing it wouldn't bring the same joy as when it happened naturally. So, I let go. I chose to embrace what we had rather than grieve what we didn't. And in that acceptance, I found peace. Life doesn't always go as planned, but sometimes what we already have is more than enough. I began to wonder if something else was at play. Lela, however, didn't see any issue. Unable to shake my doubts, I decided to go for a checkup on my own. I didn't want to believe it, but the results were undeniable. There was no way around it. I was infertile. Still unwilling to accept the truth, I sought a second opinion at another clinic. But once again, the results were the same. It seemed impossible to believe. After all, I had an alibi. I was already a father. The doctors simply shrugged, offering sympathetic glances. "It happens," the last one said. "You should talk to your wife." Disbelief quickly gave way to anger. I wanted DNA tests. "Right now," I told her, watching as her face drained of color. "Why?" she asked, her voice trembling. "What's the point?" "I just need to be sure that Ellie is really my daughter," I said. "Don't you trust me? How could you even think that?" Lela's voice rose in hysteria, her eyes welling with tears. Immediately, she launched into accusations. "How could you even suggest something like this?" "I don't know," I said, my voice sharp and unwavering. "Maybe it's because I just found out I'm infertile." Her tears stopped instantly. The air between us grew heavy, suffocating. She scrambled for an excuse, insisting that I should take the test again. But I stayed calm, silently sliding 3 identical sets of results from 3 different clinics across the table. I waited for an explanation. What I got instead was a flood of words. Excuses, insults, and justifications tumbling from her lips. She questioned my ability to have children at all, saying she had been pregnant before, years ago when she was young, but had to terminate the pregnancy. Then she admitted the truth. There had been someone else, a secret lover from her past. She had met him in secret, and he had gotten her pregnant. He had promised to be there for her if she left me, but in the end he vanished, fleeing abroad before she could even make a decision. Maybe it was his way of getting revenge for the way she had left him all those years ago. I sat there, frozen, my mind spinning, and in the other room sat my beloved child, my daughter. Except she wasn't mine. The decision tore me apart, but I knew it had to be made. Ellie was still so young. She wouldn't remember me. She wouldn't bear the scars of my absence. So I cut them out of my life as best as I could. I took the DNA test. I went to court and proved I wasn't a father. I was cursed, vilified, called every name imaginable. But in the end, Lela went back to her parents, and I never heard from them again.